What it do, vinyl community? Fluffy Records back at it again here with another video. I'm rocking the World Cup 2026. It's currently going on right now, and decided to wear this bucket hat. But this is part 2 of my Japanese vinyl experience. I did a part 1 about a month ago, maybe a little bit over a month ago now. But if you haven't watched that, definitely recommend you guys watch it or go watch it. But part 1 was mainly me buying stuff online, eBay, Discogs, that sort of thing. Part 2 is where I showcase a new shop in town, and coincidentally, it's a Japanese record store here in LA. It's called We Share Records, and like I said, coincidentally, it opened this year. And yeah, just the timing, this year I just started to get in this Japanese music kick, with people, musicians and groups, and I'm still here for it. I'm still buying to this day, as of right now, 2026, buying Japanese music. So We Share Records, they started out as a pop-up shop. They would be going to these pop-ups in LA, and the store owners, Sugu-san, as I call him, and his wife, lovely people. They're the ones that run the shop. They're based in Japan, and every so often the owner goes to Japan and brings back records, especially records that people are looking for here. And it's just a treat. When it comes to other record stores here in LA, it can be pretty difficult to find original copies of Japanese albums that people want. So it's always a treat whenever he goes and comes back to LA with boxes, and I mean boxes of albums, Japanese only music, and even pressings. But here I did shoot some footage of the store. I kind of want to give you guys a little kind of a rundown of how the store goes. They open from 1 to 8 p.m. from Wednesdays to Sundays, and like I said, every time I go, there's always something new for me there. And I would say that's the same for any other record collector that goes there for that kind of music. So as you walk in, from the far left is all Japanese music. From the new arrivals, there's probably 4 bins of new arrivals. Great stuff. As you walk towards to the deeper side of the store, you get the well-known musicians that you're looking for, like Tatsuro Yamashita, Takanaka, Henri, Cassiopeia, the list goes on. As you're walking deeper and deeper, you get to the 90s stuff, J-pop, folk, rock, compilations, that sort of thing, even Japanese soundtracks, even traditional Japanese folk music. And then in the middle of the store, you have all these bins full of just your well-known bands from America and the UK. So like the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, even Steely Dan, those well-known groups, and even just solo musicians you'll find in the middle of the store. And for the most part, it's mostly Japanese pressings. I will say I've had luck finding a first American pressing of an album that I was looking for. Actually, let me show you guys. Of all places, I found this copy of UFO's Lights Out. Like I said, this is a US pressing, and out of all places, you just never know what you'll find there. And like I said, every time I go to a record store, I would try looking for this album. Even Amoeba, anytime I would go to Amoeba, I will be looking for this. Never there. But out of all places, at this Japanese shop, you find an album like this. Just to give you guys an example of stuff you can find. Mind you, the store isn't that huge, but when you go kind of further into the shop, there's a big not table, I don't even know what to describe it, like glass table, I guess. And that's where Sugu has his turntable set up, where, by the way, he DJs from time to time, if I remember correctly. But he's there. There he is spinning his records, and then there's the wall at the very back. And from what I've noticed, it's not always, these rare original albums on the wall. Sometimes you'll have luck, but a lot of times it's also these out of print reissues that people want, or even just him showcasing these albums that people want, and they're on the wall, and just because people won't be looking in the bins, he'll just have them on the wall just to have, show people who will walk right in and they can see the walls. But that's why I really like the store. Anyways, on the far right is where you have your soul, hip hop, R&B, jazz side. And like I said, you just never know what you find in those bins, because it is crazy how sometimes you go there expecting, Japanese pressings of albums that you're looking for, original pressings, American pressings of, and then you end up finding a US original stereo pressing of a Blue Mitchell album on Riverside. And it's just like mind blowing how you just never know what you find. But apart from vinyl records, the shop also carries CDs, cassettes, even 7-inch singles. Maybe there's not a lot of it, but they're there, and you might be surprised by the stuff that the store carries, as well as their very own We Share Records hat and We Share Records shirts. Which, by the way, I did end up buying a shirt. I want to show you guys how just awesome the shirt looks. So I'll be right back. So I did end up buying a shirt from my last visit, because they just started to carry these shirts again, and just really, really good quality from this brand called the Inconvenience Store here in downtown. And it's just so good quality, and I really like, it comes in blue, black, and white. I decided to go with blue. Really, really good stuff from this shop, and like I said, the people are always very nice whenever I go, and we always talk about Japanese artists and pressings and represses. It's always just like your home whenever you go. So definitely recommend you guys checking out We Share Records if you're in the LA area. Okay, so I want to show you guys all of the records that I picked up from We Share Records so far. And it's quite a stack, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the stuff that I picked up, I'm just really, really happy that I've been able to pick them up there at the store. A lot, I just cannot believe how the timing there worked. Where I just started this Japanese record kick, and there's a store that just opened. But I do want to show you guys one record that I've shown a few times already, and I think I'm just gonna start buying this reissue series, because I don't know, I was content with this pressing last year. Towards the end of the year, I bought a somewhat original copy, and yeah, I think I'm just gonna stick with this reissue series. But this is the Three Blind Mice Masayoshi Yamamoto Trio, Misty, and yeah, there's a bin at We Share where they have all of these other Three Blind Mice, even originals without the obi. A lot of times I'm after the complete set with Japanese albums, but when it comes to 60s 70s jazz, it can be tricky finding the original obi, or even any obi. But yeah, I think I'm content with this right now, and I'm gonna be going back there to buy the other Three Blind Mice reissue stuff. But yeah, next up is a bunch of Tatsuro Yamashita. Actually, this is one of the more recent ones that I acquired from there. whenever I'm there, Sugu-san is always asking me, "Oh, what are you looking for? I know you're after OG stuff." And a few months ago, I told him that I was after some of the early Tatsuro Yamashita albums, especially his first one that I would say, because um, so the thing is, Tatsuro Yamashita had an album. I can't remember the name now, but I'll show a picture here, and it is really, really, really hard to find because there was only 100 copies pressed of this album, and so it's pretty much very, very hard to find. And they've reissued the album, but it's not really an essential that I want. Fast forward a little bit to 70, let's see, what year, 76, I think. Yeah, he put out, which I would say his technically his first album, on RCA. And I'm so happy to have this one in my hands, you guys, because Tsugu, he told me that he had a copy of this in his garage, and he would bring it to me, and every time I would go, he would forget, and he felt bad that he just gave me his personal copy while I was there. And I'm just so happy to finally have this. This is Tatsuro Yamashita's Circus Town, like I said, 1976 on RCA. I just love early Tatsuro Yamashita, and at this point I've just been getting all of his discography, like his stuff on RCA, Air Records, Moon Records. It's to be honest, it's not a lot of stuff that he put out there, but it can be tricky finding as time goes by. But I can happily say that I'm halfway through, or maybe a little bit more than halfway through with his discography. But a lot of the stuff that I found of his albums was thanks to the store here in LA, We Share Records. So that's one of the ones that I found. Here's another one on RCA. This is Go Ahead. This came out in 78. And yeah, this is just great, great stuff. I really like this. This is one I would say this is like underrated. Like, I don't see people talk about this one. Maybe people might think this is a compilation album. I don't know. But yeah, definitely one where I don't see people show. But that's one right there. This is one of my favorite ones. Definitely one that I've been trying to find. This is Right on Time, 1980 on Air Records. This is huge, huge one. People are always looking for this one. And I know that whenever I'm there, there's always the reissues copies. And let me just show you guys why I like this one. So originally this came out like this, but it's a slip, and this is the cover. This is actually the cover of the album, Right on Time. But yeah, really like this sort of thing. I told him whenever I was at the shop that I'm looking for Right on Time with the slip, with the Maxwell slip. Maxwell, what is it? It's a company, but I can't remember now. Zoomer head right here. But yeah, I know that Tatsuro Yamashita did a lot of like jingle tunes for commercials in Japan in the 80s and 70s and 80s. But yeah, this is a huge one, Right on Time. Check out the commercial on YouTube. I know you can find it there, but this is great stuff. Like I said, people are always looking for this one, and it's on Air Records. Okay, so here's more Yamashita. This is Moonglow. This is still on Air Records, and this was released in 79. So this one came out before Right on Time. And I want to say, like, Right on Time and his album For You, I think, are like his biggest albums that he ever put out. But this is another one where I would say it's underrated. I don't really see people talk about this one, but it's great city pop music. I mean, this is really, really good. I really love the stuff that he did in the 70s and the 80s. When it comes to his 90s stuff, I feel like it's hit or miss, but definitely enjoy his early stuff. This is another one. Now this is on Moon Records. This is Melodies. This is actually a recent one that I acquired. And to be honest, for the longest time, I thought this was a compilation album. But no, this is just another regular album. Um, and yeah, it's just really, really happy to have it. I remember when I was there, I saw this exact copy. He didn't have Sugu didn't have this in the bins or anything. He had it like nearby his desk where he was, I guess, going to price records, and that's where I, uh, kind of had the idea to bring this album up. And I was like, yeah, I'm looking for an original of this because he had a reissue copy, but obviously I've been looking for OG copies, and he kind of just lit up and handed me this copy, and I was like, oh my goodness, thank you. But yeah, just always amazing time there. Melodies by Tatsuro Yamashita. Really, really happy to have that one. Here's another one on Moon. This is another, I feel like, underrated record of his. This is on Moon Records from I don't know, but this is in the 80s still, but this is Pocket Music. And like I said, this is one where I don't see many people talk about. But this is still incredible music from him. A more, funk and sometimes soul, but this is still in that vein of like you still are going to jam to his stuff. Like I said, when it comes to the 90s, I'm not much of a fan with most of these artists. But this is still a good time to listen to his music. Oh, I guess 1986 is when this came out. Could be wrong, but yeah, great one nonetheless. A good thing that I like is that all of these albums have been reissued. I want to say all of them. Yeah, I think all of them. So all of the ones that I've shown so far have been reissued, or at least the Tatsuro Yamashita ones. So you can definitely find a reissue of that at the shop. Here's another one. This one actually came out a few years ago. This is later Yamashita. He's much older, but this is Softly. I believe this one came out in 2022, and yeah, not my favorite, but I still really enjoy Tatsuro's vocals and just his music overall. Like, I just enjoy it, even if it's not like my cup of tea. I still really enjoy it. Like, there's still some elements of where you hear like early Yamashita, but he's much older here. And yeah, this is a double disc on Moon, and I might as well show you guys the album cover. It's this really nice, not necessarily texture, maybe matte finish, I don't know, but this is a gatefold, and yeah, just stuff is in Japanese, I believe, right? Yeah, so really, really wonderful. And yeah, it's still on Moon Records. And yeah, I think this is one of the albums where you cannot stream online. That's one of the things about Tatsuro Yamashita. You can somewhat find his albums online, maybe not YouTube, but yeah, when it comes to like Apple Music and Spotify, I think you're not gonna be able to find these albums. Like I said, maybe YouTube now, sort of. Sometimes you'll see that someone posted, like a full album, and then YouTube deletes it in a matter of time. But anyways, this is a good one still, and like I said, I've been collecting his discography, so anything that's put out of his, I'm gonna buy. Okay, but speaking of Tatsuro Yamashita, here's a record where it's not his album, but this is one where I believe he produced, or no, he arranged like the music on here, but it's on Moon Records, so it has this vibe of his. And oh my goodness, I can't remember the name of this guy. I think it's Kazuhito Murata. But this is a recent one that I bought recently, actually, like a few weeks ago from this recording. And oh my goodness, when I saw this, I saw Moon Records and I see this and I'm like, this looks interesting. Then I look at the back and I see that the album, the songs at least, was arranged by none other than Tatsuro Yamashita, and it says right here, produced by Yamashita. But yeah, I saw this and I was I was very interested in this. And I told Sugu-san if he could play this at the shop for me, and he did. And yeah, right away, just gave me Tatsuro Yamashita vibes. The music, his singing, this is definitely an album that I could see Tatsuro, sing. Like, this is one where I could definitely see like this being an album of his if he were to sing the songs on here. But yeah, this guy, I realized later when I was at the shop that his first album, which I can't remember the name of now, I have on my want list, and I realized that this is the second album that he put out. This came out when? I cannot remember now. But I think this is like early 80s. Let me see real quick. Yeah, 1983. So his first one probably came out in 81 or 82. But yeah, this is a really, really good one. Highly, highly recommend people check out. I'm not sure this is one you can listen to online. Like, when I mean online, I'm talking like Apple Music or Spotify, but definitely on YouTube. So maybe I'll leave a song in the description below. But moving forward, I still have a lot of stuff. So here's one, a cat that I showed in the last video of the albums, Japanese albums that I bought. His first album, and then coincidentally, well, not coincidentally, but I found this album first, and then I was like, okay, kind of revisiting or checking out like what he had put out, and I realized that I had his first album in my want list for years. And yeah, anyways, who am I talking about here? I am talking about Makoto Matsushita. This is Pressures and Pleasures. This is on Moon Records. This is a really, really, really good funk soul album. And yeah, this guy only put out 3 albums, I think. His first one, which is I'm forgetting now, First Light, on Air Records. And then he put this one out in probably in the 80s. I can't remember, early 80s maybe. And then he put another one out on Moon Records probably a few years after this. But this and his first album, so good. Like, oh my goodness, incredibly good. I have seen his third album at the record store, but when I checked Discogs, I realized that it came with an Obi, and the one at the store doesn't have an Obi. And like I said, I'm pretty picky when it comes to wanting records with the whole thing, with the Obi, or even if it comes with the sticker, I want it. Or even if it doesn't have the liner notes, I'm picky about that too. But yeah, this is really, really, really good. Definitely gonna be linking a song in the description for like every album that I can find that I'm showing here. But this is really, really good stuff. Yeah, this is like I said, Makoto Matsushita, Pressures and Pleasures, on Moon Records. I think that's one that you can buy a reissue of, hopefully. But here's another one by this cat, Kingo Hamada. This is Midnight Cruisin'. I've definitely seen this album before online, and I was like, why is everyone showing this album? Then I realized there's a song on here that became really, really popular in the social media world, more specifically TikTok, where trying to remember the name of the song on here, but it's that one song that I'm gonna be leaving down in the description below. And this is a good one. This is overall a really, really good album. Very, very happy to have found it at the record shop in We Share Records. But really, really good. One that I know that has been reissued, and just happy to have this one finally in my collection. Okay, this one I've showed an album of hers in my last video, and to be honest, I don't need everything from her, but this is definitely one that I wanted because it's up there with, you know, it gives me this nice city pop vibes that I'm looking for. And so yeah, when I saw this in the bins, I was just like, wow, this is one that I thought that I would have to buy online, but no. This is Henri's Heaven Beach. This is a nice first pressing on the For Life label. Henri, who is really, really known for her album Timely. Definitely recommend that album, but also would highly recommend this one, Heaven Beach. I think this is just as good as Timely. And yeah, there's not a lot of her stuff that I would say like you should get, but this is one that I would highly recommend getting. And yeah, just really, really good music. This one came out in, let's see, came out in 82, and yeah, around the same time where Timely came out, I believe. But yeah, really, really good stuff. There will be another Henri album that I'll show in my part 3 video, but for right now, I've only shown 2, Heaven Beach and Timely. Okay, here's one where album that I found in the bins, and I was like, wow, I really dig this chick's vocals, and then I realized this is the same chick that did that one very famous song, and I was like, wow, okay. But anyways, this is another one where I think I'm happy with this album, and then getting like her compilation album Magic. Who am I talking about? Or Magical. This is Junko Ohashi's Flush. Really, really dig this one. Like, if you were to compare like vocals between hers and Henri's, I would say Henri's vocals are more soft, on the softer side. This cat right here, Junko Ohashi, she's more how would I say it? Not raspy, but more, she's got more of like a tenor maybe vocals. But yeah, this is really good. This is really good funk soul album. Like I said, the one people always are after is her compilation album Magical, with the New York City scenery, with the Twin Towers. But yeah, this is really, really good. Okay, so it looks like this one came out in 1978, or at least this was recorded in 78. Had to take out the insert. A lot of these, actually I think all of these come with the insert, but just decided not to show just because I think I'm gonna spend more time. But yeah, this is an album that I think you can definitely find for cheap, you know, in the $10 to $15 range. You shouldn't be paying more than that. But yeah, when it comes to Junko Ohashi, I think the only other time where her album is really expensive is if you find an original compilation album of hers, Magical. But really, 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 really recommend you guys check this one out, Flush. Just absolutely killer album. And on Philips is actually one of those labels where I think like the music and like the pressing is just, it's outstanding. I love the stuff that I have on Philips. And yeah, it's just really never disappointed with the stuff that I have on this label. But moving forward, let's see. So I realize I'm doing this pattern here where I'm showing the female vocalist. Here's one where I would say I haven't explored her other albums. I know she has like albums from the early 80s to maybe like the early 90s. After that, I think she either stopped making um, music, singing, just because she was out of the phase. I don't know what happened to her, but this is who I'm talking about here. Meiko Nakahara. This is Friday Magic. This is one that I've been after for a while now. The big song on here is Fantasy. Everyone that I know who's into the Japanese music, always show this album. And yeah, just very, very happy when I found this in the bins at We Share. This is a second pressing, which I don't mind having because it's like very, very early. Like this was probably like repressed not long after the first pressing, so it should sound the same as a first press, but it's on this label East World, which I've never seen before. But yeah, Meiko Nakahara, one that I definitely need to check out her other albums if I even like them, but content with this one. Very, very, very happy to have this one. One where I know it's been this album has gotten reissue plenty of times before, I think. So you can probably find this one, at some of the stores here in LA, or rather here at We Share, you'll definitely find a copy. Okay, so the next one is actually one that I got recently. This is one that I've been after since this year, getting her 3 albums. Now I'm only missing one of the 3, but this is Taiko Onuki's Gray Skies. This is her first album released in 1976. Her other albums, which I can't remember, one of them is called, I think, Sunflower or Sun Shower, and then the other one is called, it starts with the M, and I can't remember. I don't want to butcher it, but it starts with the M. I know that for sure. Have 2 of the 3 of the ones that I just mentioned. Now I just need one more. You guys will have to see which album I already own. But this is Gray Skies. Like I said, her first album. And it's just very, very, very talented singer here. Taiko Onuki, who like blew up from her other 2 albums, I want to say. This is still a good one. This is still like a very strong album, considering it's her first. But those 2, I tell you, the other 2 that she put out, on another level. I am so happy to have found this original copy. Look at her. But yeah, this is really one. I think she was like 22 when she made this one, 24 when she made the Mingon, I think it's called. I'm sorry for butchering it, but it's just incredible. And then the musicianship that she has on those albums is just wow, like mind-blowing to see who is featured on there. And it's just crazy. I mentioned this before in the other video, how these Japanese musicians contributed into other people's albums. Like the one that I showed that featured that was produced by Yamashita, like wow, just incredible. But anyways, this is one that I'm very, very happy to have. One that I thought would be harder to find. I don't know why. Maybe because I thought like this would be, this is her first album. I thought it would be much harder to find. But yeah, no, her other albums are for sure harder to find. I did go back and I saw another original copy there at We Share without the Obi. But yeah, just really, really happy to have this one. And wow, I'm still not done here. This is another album that I recently, when I mean recently, I mean like a couple weeks ago, discovered, added it to my want list. When I went to We Share, it was there. I was like, wow. This is Circus One. This is by the group called Circus, and this is the album One. It came out on Alpha. Really good city pop album. And Alpha, that label, always good when it comes to how the pressing sounds from the album. And yeah, Circus, I want to say this is really, really good. I realized until later that that a lot of the songs on here are covers of like American based musicians, I want to say. So you have like songs that they're covering your songs by Boz Cat Skaggs. I think Boz Skaggs is American, right? Let's see. They do a Barry Manilow song. They do a Michelle Legrand tune. I mean, I know Michel Legrand. Well, I don't know. Is Michel Legrand American or is he French? Maybe he just has a French name. I don't know. But yeah, just here, might as well show you guys. This is a really good album, and it's cheap. A lot of these that I'm showing now, that I'm gonna be showing now, are cheap, like under $30. This one's probably like another $10 to $15 record. Okay, these next two, I'm gonna start rapid firing these, but these are by let's see, Suyama Kyoto and Omega Tribe. This is one that I found first. One of the early days when I went to the shop. Just underrated in my opinion. You can find this one for like $10 to $15. This one's a little bit pricier, not pricier, but this is probably like a $40 album. This is Aqua City. I think a lot of people, when it comes to this group, they are looking for this specific album. I'm not familiar with the label, but yeah, these two have this same label. But yeah, really, really enjoy. I think when it comes to this group, their stuff is pretty dang affordable, and the stuff that I've listened to of theirs have not been disappointing at all. I have seen their other stuff there before, but I don't know. I maybe I'll get them later, and later this year. Here's one that I've had on my want list for a few years now, and when I saw this, I was like, that album cover I've recognized before, and I went on my Spotify and I realized that I've had this album saved there, and I don't know how I encountered this one, but yeah, this is a really good like folky rock album. This is called Hi-Fi Blend. This came out in I think the 70s. And this is one where I'm confused because I don't know if this is like technically a compilation album or this is an actual album. Maybe this is a comp of like singles. I don't know. I'm still a little confused about this one, but in terms of like whether this is a comp album or not. But this is a really good album nonetheless. Highly, highly, highly recommend this one. This is another one where it's like a $10 to $15 record. And just beautiful, beautiful cover art here. And with the Obi, of course. But this is Hi-Fi Blend. Very happy to have found that one in the new arrivals there at the shop. Here's one where I found on the wall. This is Toshiki Kadomatsu, Weekend Fly to the Sun. I think I had seen this one before. A lot of the stuff that I've seen before were probably stuff that I added to my want list and just forgot to check out or hadn't had the time to check out yet. And whenever I see something that catches my eye, I'm like, okay, I'm going to stream some of the stuff on here. If I like it, I'll buy it. If not, then, I'll probably have to give it a few more listens to see if I can appreciate it. This one I really, really, really like right away. And decided to buy this one. Okay, my second to last album here. This is one that I had their first album on my want list since like 2022. I actually found their first album at the LA Vinyl Con, but I don't know, I think they wanted $70 and I thought that was a little too much. So I was like, okay. So then I go and see what else they had in terms of like what they had in discography. I check out some of the stuff. and I really like their second album that they put out. This is on Alpha. This is Bread and Butter, Monday Morning. Really, really enjoyed their first one. Their first album, which I believe is called Late Late Summer. And like I said, I found an original at LA Vinyl Con, but I don't know. I thought they were asking for a little bit too much. And then at the shop, they have one, but they don't have the Obi, which is a little disappointing. But they do have a reissue of that album. So maybe I'm going to start getting the reissues. Who knows? But this is a good one. This is another one where it's not that cheap, or not that expensive, sorry. Another one probably pay like $15 to $20 for, but really, really good stuff. Bread and Butter. I've checked out their other stuff. And I'm a little iffy in terms of if I want the other stuff, but also I believe some of their albums were digitally recorded, and some people online have said that it doesn't sound good, this and that, and I'm like, you know what? The good thing is that those albums aren't expensive, so I can always buy them, and if I'm not into it in terms of how it sounds sonically, then I can always just give it away or just sell it, whatever. But very, very happy to have this one. Still looking for their first album with the full Obi, and you know, if it comes with inserts. Okay, the last few I'm gonna rapid fire because yeah, it's all this by this one musician. So who am I talking about? I am talking about Masayoshi Takanaka. Here's Takanaka. I believe this is his self-titled. No, this is can't remember what the name of this album is, but it's not self-titled. But it's on Kitty Records. This is Super Takanaka Live. This is another cool one. Really, really happy to have found. Actually, all of these I found the same day, except for the last one that I'm going to show. But this is one that that I remember I saw at the shop one day, and I just like kind of forgot about it. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna buy this. I'm gonna come back another day and buy it. I went back, it was not there, and I regretted it. Then and then like time went by, I go back again, and they had another copy, and this is on blue vinyl. Yeah, very, very happy with this one. T-Wave, absolutely love this one. The last one, surprisingly, is one of the first ones that I got when I was there early on, and this was on the wall, and my oh my, I was so excited to buy this. I know this has jumped in price a lot, and now like the reissues are just like they're out of print right now, and you know they're gonna repress more copies. But very, very happy to have the Rainbow Goblins by Takanaka. This is one that everyone loves, and a lot of people say that this is their favorite album. And I gotta say, after buying this album, I listened to it more and more and more, and I have to agree, this is one of my favorite ones now. This is a double disc album, and yeah, it's just super, super good. I always say, when it comes to Takanaka, I don't consider him city pop. I consider him more jazz fusion. Some people call him like prog rock. But yeah, definitely more jazz fusion, definitely not city pop. And this is one that I highly, highly recommend people check out. If you have checked this out and want to check out more Takanaka, I definitely recommend you guys check out his self-titled album, him with the red suit. If you checked that one out already, definitely check out Say Cheese. Or let's see, what else of his can you check out? I mean, the list goes on, but definitely like his early stuff is stuff that you want to be able to check out and love, and I think you'll love it is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, another one you should check out definitely is this one. I really enjoy that one. His live stuff, I want to say, like when it comes to his live stuff, it is top-notch performance. Like his group is just always giving it their 100%. And oh my goodness, like, there are only a few musicians out there that I think like can do this guitar cry when they perform live, and he's one of them. Like, if you check out his stuff online, he does this amazing guitar cry with his guitar, and it's just like freaking outstanding. Like, I really, really, really love Takanaka, and I know there's gonna be another album later this year. They're gonna do like Rainbow Goblins live from like the 80s, I think, and I'm very much looking forward to getting that. I asked the store owner Sugu-san if he's gonna buy copies of that, and he said yeah. So whether I buy it from WeShare or if I buy it online, the point is, if they have it there at the shop, I'm gonna go there and buy it from there, because I'm gonna be fully supporting, and I have supported. Like, look at the stack of records that I have that I bought there already. Just a ton of stuff. But yeah, I'm still going to be supporting there. WeShare, like I said, check out the shop if you haven't already. But yeah, this is it for part 2 of my Japanese vinyl experience, Japanese music vinyl experience. I still don't know how I'm gonna name it, but yeah, this is it, and thank you guys for watching. Tune in for part 3.